As I want to develop as a photographer in my artistic journey, I realized that printing and publishing is crucial and the next step for me. But as online platforms like Instagram or 500px doesn't work for me anymore in my quest to create meaningful and impactful content and connect with my audience in a genuine way, I question myself, what does photography mean to me? Welcome to Enjoy Life, Enjoy Yourself. Today is Saturday, the 20th July 2024, and I am in Guampa. Online platforms used to be the place where I share my work, and I shared everything and everything. And that was fine for me so far, but I realized that to develop further, I have to be more mindful about the content that I put out there because, I want this content to be helpful for others, for my audience, and guide them on their journey. So I question what's my intent of creating work and what's my intent of publishing my work. And I have a broad interest in what I photograph. I photograph everyday scenes. I photograph nature, flowers and trees. I'm obsessed with trees, but I also photograph a lot of people, model photography, you can call that. And Instagram was great because it was this promise you can connect with millions of people around the world. It doesn't work like that anymore, as you probably know. And also, if you want to be everything to everyone, you're kind of nobody for no one. And that's not what I'm trying to do right now. I try to, create a personal and direct connection with my audience. So where do I go and what do I share? Because that's also important. But first of all, what drives me to grab a camera and take a picture? And it's whenever I see something beautiful, like I read a beautiful poem, a haiku, or hear a song that moves me, or see a piece of art, a painting, a book cover, an album cover, I feel a deep desire. And this desire is, I want that. I want to do that. I want to be able to do that. I want to create something that is like this. Not the piece itself. I don't want to copy them, but I want to create something that has the same impact to the viewer, that has this, how this artwork makes me feel. I want to be able to create that for somebody else. And especially in music, I have this notion. I'm Gen X, and I'm very fond of these alternative rock of the '90s, bands like Tool. And when I hear this music, I feel connected. I feel connected to the artist, but I also feel connected to to myself, to the more dark side of myself. And I'm realizing the beauty in my imperfections, in my flaws, in my raw emotions, in my weirdness. And I'm not, I cannot play in a band. I'm not very musical. But photography does that for me. And so I have the ability to picture this in a photograph. And what's more important and also makes me feel alive, more alive when I do this and when I look at the pictures that I've created, all the creativity that went into this picture, especially when I work with models. So I have a lot of pictures and I wonder what I will do with them, how I can bring them into the world. And that's a different story than creating them. And when we think about publishing our work, it has an impact on what we create. For the good, because it drives us to create our best work, but also in a bad way, that when we create, we think about, will this sell? What's the impact of that? And that can be limiting. So it's good to separate these two roles, the creator from the publisher. I realize, especially for me, I don't want to limit myself in the work that I create, and then again, when I think about publishing my work, it doesn't suit me anymore just to post them online and see what happens. I want my work to connect to a higher cause, um, like it, to make it really impactful. So when I think of the impact, it's also, I look back and thought about my journey and what I was capturing in these images. And it's something that also drives me, is that I'm curious about life, this magical, mystical life, the things in between, above and beyond that we don't really know about. And when it comes to publishing, it's also important right now for me to understand, okay, what is it not? Because it's easy if you feel like you can fit into a category, like I'm a street photographer, I'm a fashion photographer, I'm a people photographer. Um, but if you don't fit into these categories, for me, it's important to figure out, okay, what it is not, because I'm part of a fashion photographer, but I don't really care about high fashion. I don't really care about big brands. I don't really care about these beautiful models and the beautiful poses. I really care more about a natural expression with that comes with movement, that comes with body energy. Um, so it's a different approach to that, but I want these pictures to feel alive. That's the thing that that's one of my priorities. And also, I have to think about what experience do I want to create? What's the impact that I want to create? What's the value that I bring? And for me, it's this transformational experience. So when people can make a transformation, or when these images can help them on their journey because they want to make a transformation. And because of that, I've defined some guidelines for myself um, to help me on to what I would like to publish. And one is, of course, I want to create beautiful images and just transport this or express this joy of creation. It's like I want to surround myself with beautiful things, things that I find beautiful. And what I find beautiful isn't necessarily that what you find beautiful, but you may also have the same need that you want to have beautiful things around you, look at beautiful people, beautiful things, beautiful scenes, and that's the basic um, but beauty matters. And to create beauty, there are some topics that I care about. One is sensuality. I want my pictures to have a tangible, tactile experience. I would like to have that you have this experience. You can feel, you can smell, you can taste what I've pictured on the photograph. Because I'm a very tactile person, I'm a big hugger and I care about how things feel. I want to do things with my hands, do things manually. And yeah, so sensuality is really important. Another thing that is important for me is a sense of calm and stillness. I want you to, I want you, I want to invite you to contemplate and meditate about who you are, what life is, what life does mean to you, where you want to go. And I want you to have an experience also that you can connect with your shadow self, with the sides you try to avoid, to connect to with more dark emotions, anger and fear and frustration. And at this point, and all these things that are somehow uncomfortable, but I would like to create the safe space that allows you to get into these emotions. My audience to get into these emotions and draw energy and power from that. So I want my audience to go this path, to walk this path of self exploration and self discovery, and look into the dark corners of our souls, and because that's where the healing begins. Yeah, I love dance, so I love the body, the movement, and I want this energy, and also I want the energy of someone being present, and that's especially in portraits when somebody is deeply connected to their inner being and to their body and can move intuitively and express themselves through that, through this connection with themselves. That's something very amazing, and I would like to capture this. Um, Related to that is a playfulness that don't overthink and don't be too serious with yourself, like being playful. And being playful means also being very serious about the play. And another thing that is very important for me is this idea of wildness, that we are part of nature, of a wild nature, and that's very important. And when it comes to the scenes that I create, I would like to have them like a street style. It's more casual and candid. It's more of an the idea of everyday life that I would like to capture and make the most of our everyday life and our everyday routines. So that's my idea of beauty. And with this idea, there is a lot of topics related to that. That is like creativity and making art allows us to experience our whole self and leads us to a more joyful and fulfilling way of living. And it will expose us to ideas and emotions that we kind of try to avoid. And there's a quote I once read, the purpose of art is to make the revolution irresistible, because we are in a process of change. The world around us is changing and we are facing huge challenges from climate change to wealth, injustice, inequality, to these things. And to tackle these challenges that we face, we have to be a very centered and person, and art does not only exist to entertain, but to also challenge the way that we think and provoke new ideas, even if it disturbs our status quo. And we're in a search for truth. So art is not only propaganda, it is also, who do we attach to? Which ideas do we attach to our art? And for me, it's creating a more open, a more tolerant, and more diverse society, because that's the way of nature to be resilient, and that's the way I think we can handle what we are facing right now. That's what I would like to share with you today. Thank you for listening, and thank you for following these thoughts about why we create, what does it matter, and also when we put our work out there and when we put ourselves out there, what does that mean? And that, I think it's important that we detach ourselves from our work when it comes to publishing our work, when it comes to putting out our work. But then again, if it's detached from ourselves, what do we attach to it? And yeah, thank you for listening. Till next time. Bye.